Hi, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the class. I hope my people are doing well. I'm maintaining good health. So maintaining good health plays an important role, and if you are maintaining your good health, it's very good and appreciable. Please take care of your health. Think positively and work hard. Cultivate the cheerfulness among you. In this situation, please drink hot water in the morning and evening and have a nutrient food. And to avoid the COVID-19, please make use of a mask. When you go outside, have a sanitizer with you. Carry the sanitizer with you always. Apply it to your hand. Wash your hand frequently. Then have social distance. I hope you people are maintaining your timetable as you prepared in the 3-4 days back. And complete your exercise questions. And meanwhile, while I'm teaching, stop the video. Then write a points in your rough notebook. Maintain your rough notebook. And write answer for the questions, exercise questions. So we'll get back to our classes. In the last class, we started to discuss about the judiciary. You know the meaning of a judiciary, is not? And we discussed about the functions, main role of a judiciary, that is to dispute resolution, to solve the dispute, fight in between the two group of people or two individual or two different types of government, is not? Then judiciary review. It is suppose any law which is implemented by the legislative and executed by the executives. Suppose it's harmful for the citizens, then the judiciary plays an important role in abolishing that. They can remove, they can delete the, otherwise they can discard that. They can strike down the law which is created by the legislature. Then upholding the law and enforcing the fundamental rights. The main role of a judiciary is to uphold the fundamental rights and enforcing fundamental rights for everybody, is it not? By giving the justice. So while giving a justice, they need to enforce the fundamental rights. So in under the fundamental right, every people should get equal rights, equality, justice. So that the Indian judiciary, that plays an important role in giving equal justice for every people. Then afterwards, now we will be discussing about what is an independent judiciary. Independent judiciary. What is that? The judiciary is the guardian of the constitution and defender of fundamental rights of the people. For performance of this rule, it is essential that the judiciary must be independent. Is it not? Judiciary is a guardian that safeguards the rules or the law which is created or which is mentioned in the the constitution, is it not? It safeguards, it gives us security, and also it ensures equal right and the fundamental rights which is written in the constitution for everybody. It guardians, it take care about the law and the rules which is mentioned in the constitution, is it not? So here the judiciary, in order to ensure, in order to uphold, in order to have a security, to give a security for this law, in order to uphold the law, in order to provide the fundamental law, in order to enforce the fundamental rights and every law and rights to everybody, the judiciary must be independent. It's not independent. That means the judiciary should not be controlled by any other form of a government. So there are three: legislative, executive, judiciary. So these judiciary activities should not be controlled and maintained or guided by any of these, or any of a leader, any of a rich person or lower people. Any influenced person should not influence or should not control the activities or decisions which will be taken in the court or in the judicial system. So that's judicial system. It's called as independent judiciary system or independent judiciary. So independently they have to give they have to take a decision based on the equality or based on the law which is created in the constitution. They have to give a justice for everybody without having influence of anybody on the judiciary form of system, is not? So that is called as independent judiciary. India has an independent judiciary that allows the court to play a central role in ensuring that there is no misuse of power by the legislature and the executive. So that ensures that the power of a judiciary will not be misused by the legislative and executive, is not? It's called as independent judiciary in India. We have an independent judiciary in India that ensures that the legislative executive, they don't have any power on the judiciary. Judiciary has its own power. It will not be influenced by the legislative, either legislative or executive. It has its own independent role and principles to play. So that is doing. So that's about the independent judiciary in India. It plays a crucial role in protecting the fundamental right of citizens, because anyone can approach the court if they believe that their rights have been violated. Anyone can approach to the court, whether it may be poor or rich, whether he is living in a village or the city, for anything he can approach the court, either for the High Court or Supreme Court. First they need to approach to the High Court, is not? High Court, there they will resolve the disputes, they will solve the dispute. Suppose they can't, suppose the person is not happy with the judgment which is given by the High Court, then he can go for the Supreme Court, is it not? So here the High Court, even in the judiciary system, the High Court is not influenced by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is not controlled by the High Court. So any of these courts will not be controlled. There are different types of courts, is it not? So this, all the systems are called as judiciary. So this judiciary, in among the judiciary, any of the court is not influenced demand by any other courts. So High Court, Supreme Court ಇದೆ. Supreme Court, High Court ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ. Supreme Court ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ High Court ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, is not? That plays its own role. High Court plays its own role, and Supreme Court plays its own role, is not? So every court system, it's its own role. So whenever the people they approach to the court in seeking the justice, that's their duty to give justice, equal justice for them. That's what happening, and that is the independent judiciary what we have in India. Then what is the structure of court in India? Structure means it's not like a design or anything. Structure like the types or the structure of government, like we have central government, state government and panchayat. It's structure of government. Same like what is the structure of the court in India? We have three structures, that there are three different levels of government. Levels are structures of a court in our country. So there are three different levels or structures of court in our country. Several courts are at the lower level, while other one at the apex level. Only one at the apex level. Several courts are there in the lower level, means level wise, 1, 2, 3, there are three levels in the court, is it not? In the lower level there are several courts. In the upper level only one apex court, only one court. Supreme Court is only one court in the higher level, and remaining all comes under the lower level. So we'll discuss what are those. So district level are subordinate, and the state level, then high court. So this district level or subordinate court is a lower level class. It's a lower level class there. Whenever it's, let me discuss about this first. The most people interact at this level. Each district is presided by a district judge. So here the most people interact at this level, and it will be presided by the district judge. So this district judge will be the judge and will give a justice for the people who are approached to the court. So every district will have its own court. Every district will have its own court. So whenever the people of village or the city, otherwise any town, so if they have a conflict, dispute, they can approach to the district court. So in the district court, they will give a justice. Suppose they are not satisfied with the justice which is given, by the district court, then the people they can go for the higher court. So higher level court. What is that second level court? It is a first level court where in the lower level it is called as a lower level or a first level court. Most of the people they go approach the court for their resolution of a dispute and any problem. If they face any problem, they go and approach to the district court first, is not. So that's at a lower level. So there are thousands of a district in India. So that means there are thousands of a district courts. There are thousands of district courts in India. Second level, if they don't get the desirable decision, desirable decision or judgment in the district court, they can go and approach to the state level court. For every one state, there will be state level court. For every state, there will be state court called as High Court. So the High Court is the highest court of a state. High Court is the highest court of state. It is High Court of Bengaluru. So Ucha Nyayalaya, Karnataka Ucha Nyayalaya, it's a High Court of Karnataka. So it is there in a Bengaluru, is it not? So then, if they go, it is a higher level court. So only one court we have, the higher level, it is Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of India is the highest judicial authority. It is located in New Delhi and is presided over the Chief Justice of India. So here in the state court and district court, that will be presided by the judge. We call them as judge. But the judge of a Supreme Court called as Chief Justice of India. The Supreme Court judge is called as Chief Justice of India. This Chief Justice of India will be elected by the President. The decision made by the Supreme Court are binding on all other courts in India. Whatever the rule will be made by the Supreme Court is ultimate because it's apex when it's having supreme power. The Supreme Court has supreme power. So whatever the rules or whatever the decision or whatever the some decision made by the Supreme Court has to be followed by the every other courts, is not. And in India we have an integrated judicial system, meaning at the decision by higher court are binding on lower court, and all these different levels of courts are connected to each other. So it's a Supreme Court what we have in India, in the New Delhi. Whatever the decision will taken in the Supreme Court, it should be binding and it will be the other court should be obeyed and it will become a law which is given decision in the Supreme Court. Finally, you will definitely get a justice. If you don't get a justice in a district court, you can approach to the state court. If you don't get if you don't get the decision and justice in a state court, you can approach to the High Court, Supreme Court. There in the Supreme Court, you will definitely get a justice. So that's what the power of a Supreme Court. And whatever the decision will taken in the Supreme Court has to be obeyed and it will become binded in all the courts. So all the courts are connected each other. District court, state court and Supreme Court, all the courts are connected each other. Then now it's about appellate system. Appeal. So this means that a person can appeal to a higher court if they believe that the judgment passed by the lower court is not justice. Appeal court, what I discussed, suppose you are not satisfied with the decision which is taken in the state court or high court, otherwise in the district court, you can appeal for the high court. Suppose if you not got any justice from the district court and the state court, you can appeal for the Supreme Court. You can go for the Supreme Court. You can approach the Supreme Court for giving a particular justice there, means for correct justice. This system exists in India. This system only exists in India. We have different types of judiciary and the Supreme Court has its own supreme power. So it's there in India. It is another way that defines that integration of all the levels of government. It has integrated, it's joined together, it's connected together. District Court, High Court and Supreme Court, it's all connected together. One information will be passed to another. So it has connections each other. So you can directly approach, but if you go from the district level, if you don't get a justice from the district level. Then afterwards, if you go for the high court, so it will be good, it will be clear. So it's a one way and it's connected to each other. So that's a appellate system. Then what are the different branches of a legal system? Different branches of legal system. It's about criminal law and a civil law. We have a two: civil law and criminal cases. These are the two legal system: civil law and criminal cases. So it deals with the behavior that constitutes an injury to an individual or other private property, such as corporation. It's a civil law or civil cases. Example: negligence resulting in injury or death and property damages. It's a civil law or a civil cases. Here in this, if one person is hurting other and is made any damage for their property and he made us an injury, so it's called as comes under the civil cases. So the cases will be considered as civil cases in the court. The criminal cases, like, it deals with the behavior that is or can be explained as an offense against the public, society or the state, even if the immediate victim is an individual. So suppose it is an individual, suppose is making any problem towards the society, is drinking and in the night is making a sound the bike and he is disturbing others, is drinking and suppose is somewhat gone mad and is breaking the street lights every day, then it's a criminal, it will become under the criminal law, because the public, they are getting a problem, is not. So suppose he is continuously murdering the people, it comes under a criminal law, because he is disturbing the public, the society. In the civil law, in our civil case or civil law, there the person individually threatening them and is damaging the property or injury, making injury for the one person, that comes under civil cases. So example of criminal cases like murder, assault, then theft and drunken drive. So these are all the examples of these criminal cases. Then you will go for next concept: does everyone have access to the court? Is everyone is allowed or having right to access to the court? Is that correct? The poor people, the tribals, the women, are they allowed to go for the approach into the court? Can they go for having a justice? What is that? We will discuss. So in principle, all citizens of India can access the court in the country. All the citizens of India, they can access into the court in the country. This implies that every citizen has a right to justice through the court. They can get a justice through the court. Every citizen, even if they are poor, even if they are living in a footpath, if they are living in a tribal area, if they are living in a Aisharami buildings or anywhere, so everybody has their own rights to ask a justice, to get a justice through the court of India. It's not discriminated under any caste, any place of origin or the birth. It's not discriminated to get a justice in the court. The legal procedures involves a lot of money and paperwork which take up a lot of time. Poor people often avoid to go to the court to get a justice. But some problem in the villages, what they are facing is that when you put up some cases and there suppose that case is registered in the court, if you want to go there, if you want to put a case in the court, suppose you have facing a problem for somebody in the villages, that people if you are facing a problem from anybody, you need to get into the so many process. In the beginning, from the gatekeeper, they will ask money. So then for buying a one form, they will ask money. For filling a form, they will ask money. Then after submitting that, they will ask money. To put that cases in front of a judge, they will ask money. It's having corrupted. Everywhere if they go, they will ask money. That's the reason most of the people in the villages and the tribal area, they are not access into the court because they are not having money. They are facing a problem financially. They are facing a problem. That is the reason. So they are not access into the court. Most of the people. The Supreme Court devised a mechanism of public interest litigation (RPIL). So it has devised, means it has created, the Supreme Court, it has formed a law, it has created the public interest litigation. Public interest litigation. So to increase access to justice in 1980. So in the 1980s, Supreme Court, they have created a law or the scheme called as public interest litigation to get a justice. So it's one rule or it's called as right. So under this process, under this right, the people can access into the court. It allows any individuals or organization to file a PIL. It's allowed. So under this scheme, the program, or under this law, public interest litigation, any one of a country, any citizens of a country, they can have access into the court under this scheme in the High Court or the Supreme Court on behalf of those who right were being violated. Suppose if anybody's right got violated, the right to equality, everybody has a right to equality. Suppose the lower class people, now it's not there. Suppose the lower class people or the tribal people, their right is got violated. What are the rights? They have a right to live in the forest. They have a right to equality. Suppose some other city people, they are not giving a right and they are not fulfilling their needs as a politician. Suppose he is not fulfilling, he is neglecting them as their tribals. Our tribal cardmans ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಇವನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅವರೊಂದು ಕಷ್ಟಗಳಿಗೆ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಷಿಯನ್ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅವಾಗ ಆ ಟ್ರೈಬಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅಂಡರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಲಿಟಿಗೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್, under this public interest litigation, so they can directly go to the High Court or Supreme Court without having any problem. So that's what law is implemented in the 1980s. The legal process was simplified and even a letter or telegram addressed to Supreme Court of High Court could be treated as a PIL. So here, if you suppose you have put a complaint in the court, you are going to put a complaint in the court, they will ask money. Corruption. It starts right from a entry of a court. The gatekeeper, it starts from there. Is not. They will make some. They are not everywhere. Everywhere, it's not everywhere. So they will make they will ask money. Is not. There is a corruption, but they will not consider as a corruption. Then you go, if you want to buy a form, they will ask money, more money. For the filling of a form from others, they will ask money. To put that case in front of a judge, they will ask money. Is not. So it is all the problem. Because of this, all the problem, they have implemented a law. They have implemented one scheme that is called as public interest litigation. Public interest litigation. So under this, any people of a low, poor background, rich people, anybody from the tribals, anywhere, they can send a letter to the High Court or Supreme Court. High Court ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಲೆಟರ್ ಬರೆದು ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೋದು. ನನಗೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನನಗೆ ನ್ಯಾಯ ಬೇಕು, ಇವನು ಈ ಜನಗಳು ನನಗೆ ಈ ಥರ ತೊಂದರೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ಒಂದು ಗುಂಪಿಗೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ನಮಗೆ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಆದರೆ ಇವರು ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಒತ್ತಿ ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಕಳಿಸಿದೆ, ಅದು ಲೆಟ್ರ್ ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ PIL ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. They will consider that as a public interest litigation. Then they will take some decision according to that. The court exercise a crucial role in interpreting the fundamental right of a citizens. Suppose any citizen came or he has approached the court in asking justice because he got violated of his fundamental right, means he is threatened for his fundamental rights, means it's his fundamental rights, his or her fundamental rights got violated by the others. Then the court, they will take charge about that first, means they will consider that first and they will have a particular decision based on the fundamental rights. Suppose any fundamental rights of anybody, of a citizen got violated, their case will be taken as a first, then that will be solved first, because fundamental rights are very much important and it's the soul of our democracy constitution, is it not? So that's the reason. So they will take charge about the first fundamental rights of the citizens. The judiciary serves as a check on the power of executive and the legislative and protecting the fundamental rights of a citizen. The judiciary have a check on the executive and the legislative. They can check that. They can check the activity of a legislative, if they are working correctly or if they are not working, or the what they were making law, suppose it's not good or the bad. So they can, judiciary can have a question. They can put a question in front of them and they can take a charge on the legislative. And the executive, suppose some law is created by the legislative. The executives are not ready to publish that, or they are not ready to execute, then the judiciary has a power to look into them. They have power. They will ask the questions on them. So that's about the judiciary, what we discussed now. I hope people understood about the concept what we discussed. It's a very small chapters, and make use of a textbook. Complete your exercise and work hard and watch videos regularly. Thank you. Have a nice day.